check the videos.
Yeah, the live streams are in a different part. Anyways, hello and welcome to the Penelope Possum channel, and my model's all fricked. Hold your horses. There we go. Back to normals. In the description, we'll have links to all the videos shown today. And I'll also announce the creator of each individual video as we see them. This is from Thought Potato, and it is titled Wendigo Biology Explained, the Science of Wendigo.
This presentation is sponsored by Wondrium.
From the archives now stored at Angelwood University in Connecticut, the following recording was obtained as a part of a collection that also included dissertations on the so-called human vampiric virus, human zombieism virus, and more. These were just a few of many recordings made in the mid to late 20th century though their authorship, remains unconfirmed as before. What follows is uncut, restored, and enhanced recording released to the public for the first time. Let me know if it's too loud or if you need it louder.
Another presentation. For years, legends of indigenous...
Oh, yeah, I remember this video.
Yeah, you showed it to me, said it'd be a good pick.
Yeah, I think this channel does a lot of stuff you'd like.
Okay, there we go. Well, that still looks wrong. Technical difficulties. Possum is broken. That's better. Buongiorno. I'll set it to not mirror. Get some more peeps up than this.
peoples in the northern United States and southern Canada have spoken of a terrifying creature known as the Wendigo. This mysterious and malevolent being is said to haunt the snowy wilderness, preying on unsuspecting travelers and feasting on human flesh. I warn you, what you'll find here is likely not what you expect. Modern portrayals of the Wendigo legend have warped public perception of this biological horror, and the reality is likely far different than the image in your mind. But make no mistake, this pale specter is no less terrifying. Lend me your ear, valued listener, as I present to you my personal findings as to the form and function of the Wendigo. In the Northern Territories, winter falls quickly, lying on the land like a body, heavy and unfeeling. But in those regions, it's more than simply cold. Winter seems to swallow warmth, drawing it out of every surface it touches. Long, frigid nights are broken only by the howling of the wind, and the forests that teemed with life only months before become lonely and desolate. Stalking this frozen wilderness is a creature of legend, a spirit of the lonely places, a hunger that is never satisfied. Selfishness personified. The Algonquin people have many names for it, a kind of manitou most often called the Wendigo or Wendigo. The Wendigo is said to be cursed to wander the land, eternally seeking to fulfill their voracious appetite for human flesh. In the harsh conditions brought on by winter, men and women often found themselves doubting that the little food they had would carry them through to spring. Eventually, supplies would begin to thin, and many had to face starvation and eventually death. It is here that the Wendigo is said to make its appearance, where desperation meets self-interest and people are left with an unthinkable choice: consume another human being or die. Anyone who succumbs to this temptation, the most reprehensible act possible in Algonquin culture, was...
We're learning about the Wendigo, and it's starting off with a very interesting talk about cannibalism. So we know we're off to a good start with these videos. This is from Thought Potato. It's a more scientific look at how a wendigo or other such creature might come to be. Yes, yummy. If you're into losing your mind.
Said to become possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo and would undergo a horrific transformation in both mind and body. In eating the flesh of a fellow human, one was forced to surrender their own humanity, and though they ate, they would never be satisfied. Since the time of the earliest
Okay, I got it. I got too much food. Do you want the last slice? I'm not hungry anymore.
We'll save it for later.
Okay. Snackies for tomorrow. There was too much food.
contact with the Native American and First Nations people, sightings of the Wendigo have been reported from Canada, the Great Lakes, and northern Minnesota, though they are almost certainly present in a much larger geographic area. My grandfather, anthropologist Harold Zeiger, would often tell me stories of the Ojibwe people, among whom he spent a considerable amount of time observing their culture and rituals and documenting their oral histories. These stories frequently included accounts of the Wendigo, a creature that, I must admit, kept my younger self awake many a night, hardly daring to glance at my bedroom window, lest a cold, pale shadow in the woods outside should catch my gaze. Of course, as is commonly known, many years ago, while on a university-funded trip to the Minnesota-Canada border, Professor Zeiger went missing, and I never heard from my grandfather again. But that is a story for another time. There is perhaps no greater external agent of change than the lowly and insidious virus, an organism exquisite in its simultaneous...
Just gonna freaking drop on our heads that your grandpa went missing in the middle of a Wendigo explanation. That is suspicious as all frick. Cease all activities. Go immediately to suspicious jail because you are suspicious. Oh yeah, missing during hunt too. Yeah, that's mighty red flag.
Forged by eons of specialization, viruses inhabit nearly every biome on the planet, and the frigid regions of Central North America are no different. At some point in early humans here, there appeared a strain that I believe to be part of the class Herbivoricides, a virus that I have tentatively dubbed the Progressive Anthropophagic Virus, or PAV. Indeed, PAV would be a new addition to a class previously occupied solely by Herpes virales, an order that includes numerous herpes viruses, none of which are normally fatal in humans, or which cause such drastic revisions to their host's cellular genomes. My reason for this potential classification has to do with PAV's structural similarity to HSV-1. Like that virus, PAV is a double-stranded DNA virus with an icosahedral capsid enclosed in a glycoprotein-containing lipid envelope. What separates this virus from its likely cousin, however, is its method of infection and the areas of the body it targets. Upon infection, usually via the mucosal epithelium of the mouth, the virus spreads via axonal transport along the internal laryngeal nerve and ultimately to the inferior ganglion of the vagus nerve. Infection is usually inapparent, and if any symptoms are present, they're often dismissed as the common cold or even seasonal allergies, sore throat, slight fever, and general malaise. But once the virus has spread to the inferior ganglion, the viral genome goes silent, seeming to cloak itself in a coating of nucleosomes and enters an extended latent phase. Occasionally, however, certain environmental conditions may cause the virus to reactivate, at which point it uncoats its nucleocapsid and begins the process of replication, transcription, and assembly before budding from the host cells and finally traveling back to the nearby.
Okay, I'm going to boil what this means down, essentially. Basically what he's saying is people get infected through bites usually, and it can sit and wait for certain things to happen, and when it does start happening, shit really starts going to the fan. Like, we start going balls to the walls crazy.
By mucosal epithelium. As you might have guessed, during a flare-up, the infected individual's saliva is highly contagious, and even sharing an eating utensil could easily pass the virus to a new host. Fortunately for most infected individuals, these occasional reactivation cycles trigger a rapid immune response, and the virus is usually effectively forced to return to a latent state within a few days. Indeed, after the initial infection, the virus may remain latent for decades, and in many individuals, no symptoms will ever present themselves. It is my belief that in the cold northern regions, PAV has silently thrived for hundreds of years within a very large population, though given the rarity of long-distance travel, at least relative to modern times, it remains somewhat isolated, and so an infected individual may be content to live with the virus indefinitely, never any the wiser. That is, unless the victim undergoes a very particular and immense psychological strain, one that perhaps may include the life and death decision of whether to engage in the most horrific act known to their culture, and one that will surely fracture their humanity forever.
Oh,
Occasionally,
geez.
even intrepid researchers like us need a little downtime. Sure, you could spend that time by streaming a mind-numbing TV show, or you could spend it discovering a new passion or honing a skill. This video is sponsored by Wondrium, an online platform where you find the answer to everything you've ever wondered about, and some things you've never imagined you would wonder about. Their carefully curated collection of short and long-form videos, tutorials, how-tos, travelogues, documentaries, and more is academically comprehensive, thoroughly researched, relentlessly entertaining, and presented by engaging experts. For me, nothing is more rewarding than expanding my knowledge of a particular subject, especially when it's presented in a fun and engaging way, and no platform that I've found does it better than Wondrium. I recently watched a course called Synthetic Biology, Life's Extraordinary New Worlds, presented by Professor Milton Muldrow Jr. of Wilmington University. This course was right up my alley and covers topics like synthetic viruses, de-extinction, DNA, and my personal favorite, XNA. In a lesson on xenobiology, for example, I learned that scientists have successfully created additional and artificial letters in the genetic code, and as a byproduct have given rise to a new field called cryptogenetics. In short, this means that in the very near future, organizations could create proprietary genetic languages and even novel forms of life. Disturbing? Yes, but also
that doesn't sound good. That sounds bad. That sounds like some sci-fi horror stuff about to happen. Way to just plonk that onto our heads. Again, what is it with people in scary videos just plopping these nuggets of information on our head like a nasty shit? I'm sorry, am I not supposed to be descriptive? Fun, you have a rose following you.
incredibly fascinating. But if you're like me, your interests are wide and varied. Fortunately, Wondrium adds new content every single month, so finding new and unexpected ways to learn and grow couldn't be easier. But
yeah, creating new novel forms of life does not sound like a good idea. I think we have enough pretty novel life forms. I mean, look at the platypus. That's a novel life form.
Recently, for example, they launched a 9-part series called The Real Ancient Egypt, which shows just how modern research sometimes supports, but often refutes, what we thought we knew about the ancient Egyptians and their world. Plus, you can access Wondrium from just about any streaming device, and you can even download a course to listen to like a podcast. So if you want to check out Wondrium for yourself, now's your chance. They're generously offering my viewers a free trial. Just visit wondrium.com/thoughtpotato, or click the link in the description below to start your free trial today. I've now described the microbe that causes this terrifying transformation, but the question likely tugging at your mind is this: how can a latent virus, housed in a very specific part of the anatomy, trigger any widespread changes? To find the answer to that very question, I packed my equipment and traveled north. I had to find a specimen for myself. I met with members of the Ojibwe tribe in an area just west of Lake Superior and in close proximity to the very place my grandfather had visited years before. The details of what transpired there are beyond the scope of this presentation. Suffice it to say that what I encountered was immensely beneficial to my research, and as a result, I believe I can hypothesize accurately as to the direct nature of this virus. Imagine, if you will, that you and a few close members of your family have embarked on a hunting trip deep into the snow-covered forest. At some point, you find yourselves lost in a blizzard. By the time it clears, you've completely lost your bearings. After weeks of wandering, you've exhausted your supplies. Gradually, your hunger overwhelms your every thought. Eventually, one of your family members falls to the cold. You and the others mourn, but in the days following, you begin to trade uneasy glances. Still, though the situation is desperate, you are not willing to cross that line. But as the days wear on, hope begins to dwindle, and you struggle to fight the urge to simply eat, to quell the pain, the hunger, to fuel your body. Then one night you sit at the fire with the relentless wind gnawing at your tattered clothes. You can no longer feel your frostbitten feet, but still you try to warm them. The body of your deceased loved one lies nearby, underneath a hastily constructed rock grave. Your mouth waters, but still your mind resists. Amazingly, despite the cold, a bead of sweat trickles down your cheek and you feel your pulse quicken. In your mind, an agonizing battle rages. You know you cannot give in, but you also know that you must. Suddenly, you can bear the mental torture no longer. Something snaps, and almost as if propelled, you move toward your relative's lifeless form. What I've described here, dear listener, is the trigger that leads to the Wendigo's transformation. As previously mentioned, for many individuals, an extreme viral reactivation would blessedly never occur. But in times of sheer desperation, a unique combination of factors would send the virus into overdrive, overwhelming the immune system's attempts to stop it. It has been well documented that the lateral portions of the orbitofrontal cortex fire when, despite their moral beliefs, one is faced with no choice but to cause harm to others. In fact, this region of the brain has long been associated with feelings of extreme displeasure, and needless to say, for many, no act is so revolting as that of consuming a member of their own species. But the orbitofrontal cortex plays another role as well. Through a
That's funny, because I was just watching a video about a guy who did just that on purpose. So methinks he might have been missing that part of his brain. Because people are born missing parts of their brain.
network of neural pathways, it is connected to the amygdala, a structure responsible for emotional processing and, crucially, regulation of the stress hormone cortisol. Normally, these two structures form a kind of feedback loop. The amygdala detects and responds to emotionally relevant stimuli, while the orbitofrontal cortex processes this information and sends signals back to the amygdala and other brain regions to help modulate the emotional response. But when faced with starvation, death, and a complete upheaval of the values it holds, the amygdala floods the body with cortisol as per a normal response to stress, and the virus, lying in wait within the vagus ganglion, begins its process of reactivation. It is the sustained release of this hormone, fueled by the increased neural activity within the lateral regions of the orbitofrontal cortex, that begins a vicious cycle. First, in preparation for a fight or flight response, cortisol is known to suppress the immune system, and chronic elevations can even lead to a decreased number of circulating lymphocytes. Second, and more directly, though the exact process is still yet to be proven, it appears that cortisol itself reactivates the latent PAV by a process known as glucocorticoid receptor-mediated reactivation. It does this by binding to a glucocorticoid receptor on the virus's host cell, which then causes the host cells to express genes which promote the replication of PAV. In short, prolonged exposure to elevated levels of cortisol has been shown to greatly increase the virulence of pathogens within the body and overall pathogenicity, even with other viral infections such as HSV-1. The virus then spreads via axonal transport from the inferior vagal ganglion along the entire vagus nerve, eventually directly infecting the larynx, thyroid, and even aspects of the digestive system, crucial points to which we'll return shortly. And thus, the virus spreads like a wildfire, fanned by cortisol and, to a lesser extent, epinephrine, until it triggers a cascade of alterations to the victim's anatomy and physiology, the result of which is an irreversible loss of their essential humanity.
That's no
The
good.
first signs of viral reactivation within a PAV victim are subtle. Numbness in the feet and hands may occur, as well as a dark discoloration of the digits. At first, this is likely to be attributed to frostbite, but in fact, though frostbite may also be present, it is due to a severe increase in blood sugar, a point we'll come back to shortly, leading eventually to damage in the blood vessels and nerves of the extremities. This is actually a form of necrosis, and over time, the
Oh.
victim's rotting flesh will begin to emit a pungent scent, one that has been described as an odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. But sadly, for a victim of PAV reactivation, this is only the beginning. As the virus travels along the vagus nerve, one of the first organs it infects is responsible for metabolic regulation. The thyroid. This results in a condition known as viral thyroiditis, which in turn leads to inflammation, enlargement, and an overproduction of hormones of and by the thyroid. For those affected by PAV, this appears to be a form of hyperthyroidism, and for the first few days following viral reactivation, the victim's circulatory system is flooded with, among other hormones, thyroxine. This serves to boost the body's production of energy, which the victim may at first find invigorating. However, prolonged exposure over the course of roughly 2 weeks causes a number of side effects, including greatly increased metabolism, appetite, and a significant loss of adipose tissue. Interestingly, it is the increased body temperature resulting from this spiked metabolism that allows victims of PAV to survive the cold winter weather far longer than a normal human could, giving them a stark advantage in the frigid landscape. But this is only the start of a cascade of physiological events that lead to the Wendigo's notoriously ravenous appetite. The vagus nerve is also responsible for the regulation and feedback reception of numerous digestive processes, and as the reactivated virus makes its way to the gut, it will eventually travel along its pancreatic branch. At the pancreas, it appears to induce beta cell apoptosis via the activation of gene networks under the control of various, though very specific, transcription factors. In other words, this causes the rapid and widespread death of insulin-producing cells of the pancreas, which, in turn, causes blood glucose levels to rise uncontrolled, a condition known as hyperglycemia. This process of beta cell death has been observed in other viral infections, but never to an extent I have observed in PAV infection. Thus, even as the victim intakes increasing amount of food, without insulin, their body is unable to process or store glycogen or glucose, leading to an increased severity of hunger, known as polyphagia. This, in turn, causes specialized cells in the stomach lining to continuously release ghrelin, a hormone that travels to the hypothalamus, a region of the brain that regulates hunger and the balance of energy, and binds to specific receptors there to stimulate hunger, further exacerbating the victim's unrelenting desire for food. Paradoxically, no matter how much food the victim consumes, they remain not only unsatiated, but they continue to lose fat, resulting in a gaunt and deeply emaciated appearance. But the legends of the Wendigo often describe not only ravenous hunger, but a specific taste for human flesh. My own observations have led me to believe that while humans are certainly targeted by victims of PAV, they will also pursue any source of protein available to them. It just so happens that in the dead of winter, humans are often the most readily available food source. Ultimately, over the course of 2 to 3 months, PAV leads to a complete disruption of energy homeostasis. This upending of the natural order is mirrored in the legends of the Wendigo. The spirit of the lonely places is itself a disruption in the natural order of the world. The eventual consequence of this self-focus is ruin, and sadly, with victims of PAV, that is exactly what happens. Because they can neither effectively fuel their bodies nor resist the urge to eat at any cost, many Wendigo die of starvation within 3 to 4 months. Many others are killed before their full transformation takes place, while others freeze to death. Ultimately, and tragically, prognosis for PAV victims following a traumatic reactivation is universal fatality. But the aforementioned lack of insulin in the victim's body has another side effect. My observations indicate that as with lichen physiology in response to the lycanthropic parvovirus, victims of PAV undergo a similarly unprecedented bone growth. This is especially apparent in the major bones of the limbs. The increase in metabolism brought on by the virus appears to stimulate the production of growth hormone itself, and insulin-like growth factor from the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and liver, respectively. The low levels of
Ugh,
insulin in the body,
creepy.
a hormone that normally regulates production of these other hormones, instead allows them to increase unchecked. This leads to increased endochondral ossification or longitudinal bone growth along the tibia, fibula, femur, humerus, radius, and ulna, as well as certain regions of the digits. As with LPV, this appears to involve the activation of hyaline cartilage cells in the epiphyseal plate. This zone, which is usually dormant in adults, seems to experience sudden reactivation. During this process, osteoclasts, a type of cartilage cell, break down the mineralized matrix of the bone through a process.
This is utterly fascinating, and this might be a really bad thing to ask or think, but I wonder what would happen if a kid caught this. Like, what would happen if someone who was still growing caught this kind of disease? Like, we can see what it does to a fully grown adult, but younger people who are still growing, there's a lot different things that can happen in a situation like this. Since all their bones are still growing, would it just stop the production of the things that make them stop growing at a certain point?
Process called bone resorption. This is followed by chondrocytes forming new cartilage to replace the missing bone. Fibroblasts then strengthen the cartilage by reinforcing it with collagen. After the completion of this process, new cartilage can stack inside the open growth plates and spread across the exterior of the skeleton to form new bone tissue, a process carried out by osteoblasts, which replace the old cartilage as it degenerates. However, unlike LPV, I have observed very little apositional growth. This is likely due to the fact that Wendigo musculature remains largely unaltered. Indeed, victims of PAV exhibit average human strength and speed. Without the need to support enhanced muscles, it is my assumption that additional bone density simply isn't necessary. The ultimate effect is not only one of increased limb length, adding to the victim's uncannily skeletal form, but also of increased overall height. Reports often cite the Wendigo's exceptional size, and indeed, within approximately 2 months, an infected individual may reach a height of 8 feet, depending on their size prior to infection. It is here that I feel compelled to mention the Wendigo's characteristic skin tone. While some pigmentation remains in every specimen I have studied, there is little doubt that an as yet unknown mechanism, whether by the viral infection or ensuing response, results in the death of melanocytes throughout the skin, bestowing on the victim an exceedingly pale appearance. This could give a Wendigo a purposeful advantage.
So it kills the melanin cells in your body. That's interesting. It might not be too big of a difference for some people, because I know personally that I am pretty pale. So it might not make too big of skin color difference, but it'd make a very shocking difference in skin tone for a lot of people.
In the snowy regions where it hunts, but it could also be an unrelated side effect of another, admittedly unknown, process. Another notable aspect of Wendigo morphology is their overall lack of hair. Indeed, hair loss is one of the earliest signs of viral reactivation in PAV victims. Subjects often notice their hair thinning or even coming out in chunks within mere days following the traumatic episode. I should note that while hair loss is common, it is the least predictable symptom of the virus. Some individuals may lose virtually all the hair on their body, adding to their ghastly visage, while others may only notice a slight thinning, and still others may exhibit a delayed response or no hair loss at all. In those victims where hair loss does occur, it appears that the body's response to the virus results in a condition similar to telogen effluvium, in which hair follicles prematurely stop growing and essentially suspend in the telogen or resting phase. For victims of PAV, however, the hairs affected by telogen effluvium will stay in the resting phase indefinitely, causing the follicles to fall out and, at least in my observations, never regrow. It's possible that if a cure were ever discovered, the follicles could exit the telogen phase and regrow, but at this point, that remains pure conjecture. While the exact process that causes this hair loss is still undefined in my research, I suspect it has to do with the victim's extreme stress response, a known cause of hair loss in many other diseases and syndromes. Now though, I'll move on to another hallmark of the Wendigo's appearance, its deadly claws. Rather than extensions of bone, as is the case for lichens, individuals with PAV present an accelerated rate of keratin production by onicoblasts within the proximal nail matrix of the digits in both the hands and feet, leading to a marked thickening and augmentation of the nails themselves.
So
Unlike
it's
in
not
patients
bone.
afflicted with the human vampiric virus, whose nails undergo a similar growth pattern, here the rate of nail growth occurs much faster than normal. Rather than taking months, patients with PAV have typically formed rudimentary claws within 3 days. I have yet to determine the exact mechanism by which these cells produce these claws, so to speak, at such an abnormally rapid pace, but at this time I hypothesize that it is the result of the victim's greatly increased metabolism. In my own observations,
That would
however, I
make
have noted that
sense.
infected individuals rarely use these claws to dismember their victims, relying instead on their mouthful of razor-like teeth to inflict mortal wounds, though they can certainly cause deep lacerations during an attack. Additionally, it has been reported that Wendigo have been glimpsed climbing through trees and even along walls, a feat likely made possible by these strengthened and elongated nails. Indeed, perhaps the most viscerally disturbing aspect of the Wendigo biology is its seemingly enlarged mouth, from which protrude a staggering number of sharp teeth, formed in what appears to be a completely random arrangement. In fact, the teeth of a PAV victim are grotesquely elongated by a process very similar to what I have previously described in both vampires and lichens. In short, the virus appears to trigger new amelogenesis, and additional enamel is formed on top of existing teeth by proliferating ameloblasts derived from the epithelial cells of the dental papilla. Traveling through the dentinal tubules towards the tooth's crown, the ameloblasts
Toaster
appear to
is too
secrete
dumb
an
to
additional
talk to
extracellular
you.
matrix composed of enamel proteins and minerals. Though this process occurs rapidly, at least by normal standards, it is still quite slow, taking up to 3 weeks to form the sharp teeth seen in late-stage victims of the virus. Just as obvious, however, is the misshapen and misaligned appearance of the Wendigo dentition. This is likely due to a combination of factors, the first of which is simple. In their unrelenting hunger, victims of PAV often attempt to consume matter which is far too solid to be broken down easily, such as frozen bone. As a result, trauma to the underlying jawbones can cause irregular healing patterns. Now, unlike lycanthropy, odontogenesis, or the formation of new teeth, may or may not be triggered in a PAV victim. When hyperdontia, or the growth of supplemental supernumerary teeth, does occur, it does so without the benefit of an elongated jaw as we see in lichens. As a result, for a certain number of PAV victims, the teeth become severely overcrowded, leading to a truly gruesome appearance. Finally, their unusual dentition is often due in part to abnormal growth in the alveolar processes of both the maxilla and mandible, likely a side effect of the increased growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor responsible for the widespread changes throughout the rest of the skeleton. This growth can actually lead to tooth loss, though this appears to be rare and does little to diminish a Wendigo's fierce lethality. On a related note, I have observed that Wendigo often exhibit torn and tattered flesh around their mouth. This is due in part to the unnatural length and crowding of the teeth within. But disturbingly, it is also due to the victim's unnatural hunger, which often causes them to gnaw at their own cheeks.
So it's not unusual for Wendigos to participate in auto-cannibalism. I don't know if that's the right word for that, but they self-cannibalize. That's it.
So
That's what I
far, we've
wanted to
discussed
say.
many aspects of Wendigo anatomy, but it should be noted that changes occur not only in the body, but in the mind as well. The chronically increased levels of stress hormones, paired with a cascade of broken feedback loops resulting in unregulated and painful hunger cues, will take their toll on even the strongest of wills. And because these hormonal changes occur relatively early in the process of viral reactivation, the mind tends to deteriorate before the body exhibits its extreme alterations. In more modern times,
Interesting.
some have called this affliction Wendigo psychosis. I am not a psychologist, however, and I do not claim to possess clear insight as to the reasonableness of this retroactive diagnosis. What I can say is that late-stage victims of PAV lose all semblance of virtue. They consume without conscience. However, higher levels of cognition may remain for some time, and though I have not observed this for myself, it is conceivable that a Wendigo may speak with its victims or even play sadistic games with them before acting on their biological imperative to eat. Even still, my mind recoils at the thought. At this point, my valued listener, you may be wondering, even with these anatomical enhancements, how can a being with average human strength and intelligence be such an effective predator? The foremost reason has to do with their method of hunting. Rather than relying on sheer force or great speed, Wendigo often lure their victims unsuspecting to their death. Legends frequently tell of unwitting travelers, perhaps lost in the wilderness, whose companions have gone missing in the cold. Suddenly, they hear a call in the distance from a friend or loved one they thought lost. They move toward the sound, calling back, relief filling their voice. Eventually, they reach the source of the voice, only to find nothing more than desolate forest. It is then, when their target is confused, tired, and often disoriented, that the Wendigo strikes. This method of lure and ambush is highly effective, but how exactly can a Wendigo create sounds capable of fooling their victims into chasing after it? Interestingly, the bodies of those infected with PAV undergo numerous changes to facilitate a heightened ability to mimic sounds, and then to project them over long distance. First, the virus appears to initiate proliferation of branches of the recurrent laryngeal nerve, itself a branch of the vagus nerve described earlier. As the name implies, the laryngeal nerve innervates the larynx, as well as several muscles which surround it, including the thyroarynoid and the lateral cricoarynoid. In particular, these muscles, which appear hypertrophied in victims I have studied, adduct the vocal cords with far more strength than in normal humans, creating unnaturally loud vocalizations. In fact, there are occasional reports of a Wendigo's shriek overcoming victims with their volume alone. But there is more to these vocalizations than mere decibel count, particularly as a result of the increased innervation of the thyroarynoid. This allows for extraordinarily precise control of the vocal cords, allowing the Wendigo to mimic vocal patterns across an uncanny range. Even more astoundingly,
So, wait, what you're saying to me here, what I'm hearing is a Wendigo would be an amazing voice actor.
this ability is paired with what appears to be increased neural density in the left inferior parietal lobe, and specifically the left supramarginal gyrus, areas of the brain largely responsible for speech recognition and vocal reproduction efficiency. Late-stage victims of PAV exhibit exceptional access, storage, and retrieval capacity of auditory episodic events, detailed phonetic representation and phonemic awareness, and finally, generally exhibit a well-developed oromotor system, even though their articulation capacity is often reduced due to their dentition. In short, their enhanced vocal musculature and specific brain capacity makes them remarkably good at reproducing vocalizations they've encountered at nearly any point in the past. This ability is so advanced that I can confidently warn you, my dear listener, if ever you happen to find yourself lost in a frigid northern forest, never trust what you hear. We need help, need help, need help. We've spent a significant amount of time together, and I thank you for listening this far. I realize that there are many aspects of Wendigo biology that appear to have been omitted from this presentation, but often what we expect and what we find in reality are two very different things. One common conception I would like to dispel outright is that of the Wendigo's appearance in popular media. Many illustrations and descriptions depict a large, antlered, humanoid deer of some kind, or perhaps a gargantuan demon. These depictions, while certainly impressive in their own right, are in no way representative of the original legends, nor of those affected by PAV. Instead, they are inspired from books and films that took great liberties with their source material. Indeed, these animalistic depictions can even obscure the Wendigo's true place in Algonquin culture. And whether you take my studies and observations as truth or not, it's difficult to deny that the spirit of the Wendigo is very real. As Ojibwe author Basil H. Johnston states, the Wendigo exemplifies human nature's tendency to indulge its self-interests, which, once indulged, demand even greater indulgence and ultimately result in the extreme, the erosion of principles and values. Given modern convenience and luxury, agonizing life and death decisions are, blessedly, no longer as commonplace, at least not in many of our relatively privileged lives. But while the threat of PAV may not be as prevalent as it once was, the spirit of the lonely places still haunts us today.
Yeah.
This video was a work of fiction, and sources for all material and research can be found in the description. Be sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos and content. And as always, thanks for watching, and remember, you matter.
That was certainly interesting. ignore this. This is The Final Shift by Valax. The last one was a pretty realistic look at how someone might actually become a Wendigo if they were actually a real thing.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, the yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. Where are you? Okay?
Oh gosh.
For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. Okay, good night. Good luck.
Cool. Thanks, phone guy. Very informational. Chica's creeping through the vents. Bonnie's also in the vents. There's also a Bonnie over there. I didn't pause. I didn't touch anything. Erase footage? If I remember correctly, this guy Jeremy ends up dying in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Jeremy's one of the two people. This one's also by Valax, but if I remember correctly, in the Five Nights at Freddy lore timeline, which is very convoluted and very confusing, so I could be misremembering or not understanding something. But if I remember, he's supposed to be one of the people who got his frontal lobe bitten off. Which, you can survive. You can survive that happening. The human body is capable of, surviving without certain pieces of the brain. In fact, you can survive losing a small portion of your brain. Through accidental and purposeful lobotomies, we've learned this very important factoid. So say thank you to the crazy world of science and medicine from before we figured out, oh, hi. Hello there, are you a friend? Oh, okay, the friend went bye-bye. Okay, I'm not seeing the face anymore. Where'd the face in the window go? Oh, there's the face. Hi. I don't think it's friendly. Well, that doesn't look good. That looks like an alien spaceship. Oh, that looks bad. Okay. What? Okay, this is trippy. Bro, this video's trippier than all balls. Found you. Yeah, that's the name of the video. That is the kind of video you don't want to watch when you're on psychedelics, I'd say. Alright, these last few videos are from all the same uploader, Greylock. We're gonna watch them and then we're gonna go to bed and hopefully not dream of whatever the heck was happening in that last video.
Primary systems online. Meeting sequence complete. Emergency shutdown protocols disengaged. System was offline for time code error 106. Contact technician for assistance.
That doesn't sound good.
Welcome to Simuldyne USA Enhanced Access Operations. Please
That doesn't
enter your
look
clearance
good.
credentials.
This doesn't look good.
Error. These credentials are not recognized. Clearance credential requirement overridden. Administrator privileges granted. Welcome back, unknown user ID. What would you like to do? Accessing archival storage form, GBA.
Eee!
Data extraction initiated. Data extraction, 10% complete.
These are
Data extraction, 4% complete.
bad vibes.
Data extraction, 80% complete. Data extraction, complete. All data extracted to error, no.
Ugh.
Dear believers, when men pursue evil, it is evil that they will find. Mark my words, there is no good that can come from the pursuit of darkness. Let me read to you, dear believer, the words of the late brilliant Charles Spurgeon, who discussed this at length in a sermon all the way back in 1864.
Oh,
He
dear.
said, quote, Our adversary, the devil, goes about like a roaring lion,
Oh,
seeking
man.
whom he may devour. We are taught by our Lord Jesus to pray, do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. What we are taught to seek or shun in prayer, we should equally pursue or avoid in action. Very warily, therefore, should we endeavor to avoid temptation, seeking to walk in the path of obedience, so that we may never be guilty of tempting the devil to tempt us. We are not to enter the thicket in search of the lion. We may pay dear.
Yeah. Local radio stations be like. Well, local radio stations in certain areas of the world be like. Okay. Again, not looking great for our video camera guy. I can't understand what it's saying. Ah, so loud. Did anybody catch what the guy was saying?
We will come face to face with the devil himself, whether we intended to or not, dear believer. We are drawn to him by our own hearts. In Matthew chapter 15, verse 19, it says, "For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander." There is a shadow nested deep, deep within our hearts, within our minds, in a...
Yeah, this is some, turn back, I hear banjos stuff here. Like, this is where you start hearing the... For those international viewers who may be seeing this after it's posted, it's sort of a joke in America that if you hear banjos somewhere really woodsy, let's say, it's best to turn back. Are you okay, hon? Did you hurt yourself?
Most people
I thought I heard you go
exist within themselves.
like you jabbed yourself with something.
The devil is gonna call to those depths, dear believer. And though you may tremble before the beast, You should make it easier on yourself and accept what it is that he bestows upon you.
Oh, jeez. A movie called Deliverance, yeah. Ever since a movie called Deliverance came out in the US, rural areas have sort of gotten this reputation. Especially particularly shady looking rural areas. This is very Deliverance-y, oh my gosh. That was disconcerting in a number of ways. I don't think our lovely Canberra person survived that. This video cassette is intended for the sole use of Alexander Michael Marsh. Subject ID AM091065. That was slightly robotic in reading, but yeah.
And welcome to the Preconditional Protocols and Orientation video system provided by Unit 13 as part of the United States Army and Project Stargate, created in partnership with
Stargate.
Semiodyne USA. On behalf of all of us here at Unit 13, congratulations on your selection as one of our testing candidates. You likely have a lot of questions, and this video is designed to answer them all. First, let's go over some background information to provide you with the crucial context you'll need for a full understanding of what it is we're doing at Unit 13. We are sure you've heard plenty of rumors surrounding what it is that we do, but we are willing to bet that most everything you've heard is wrong. Being a highly confidential part of Project Stargate, which you've already been briefed on, Unit 13 studies a revolutionary and promising area of parapsychology. Thought forms.
Parapsychology?
If you're unfamiliar with what thought forms are, that's okay. You're in the majority. So, what are thought forms? Through the ages, occultists and spiritualists, Tibetan monks to theosophists, have exercised the creation of what is sometimes referred to as a tulpa, otherwise known as a thought form. A thought.
Oh, I've heard of those. Okay, this is going to be a very specific memory from a very specific time period. But, bear with me. Tulpas were sort of in the early 2000s to teenagers what having an imaginary friend was when you were younger.
Tulpa is basically an entity that manifests from pure thought.
Yes, which is that, or is that not, what essentially an imaginary
friends are tulpas.
So, do you remember ever having an imaginary friend when you were a kid? It was probably something cool like a dinosaur or kitty.
Do you see how dumb?
Kitty in a box. Kitty in a box.
The box
Kitty
is way
in
too
a
small,
box.
but he still stuffs himself in it.
He looks like a muffin. But yeah, something cool like a dinosaur with shotguns for arms, or a super awesome lion in a kilt or something. Whatever. We all had an imaginary friend at some point, I think, yes? Well, Tulpa is basically that, except a lot more complex. it's made out of, like, as previously stated, pure thought and idea made into a semi-physical form. The idea of a tulpa is you have this creature made out of thought that only you can see or interact with.
Form is the manifestation of a person's will, emotion, or other deeply psychologically energized state into a semi-physical form, existing as not only an extension of the person, but as its own independent and sentient entity. Thought forms are...
There, right there. As it said, it's a combination of thought turned into its own entity, essentially. It's a kind of metaphysical thought. And I remember reading about this when I was younger, let's say. I remember thinking, well, that sounds intriguing. And now I remember, like, reading forum posts about people who had, like, multiple tulpas of characters and stuff.
Also able to be witnessed and experienced by third parties, and are not limited solely to the person who developed them. Thought forms have been formed to serve as familiars, companions, or even friends to those who conjure them. According to key literature, thought forms can be intentionally...
I also have seen thought forms, or tulpas as I remember them. They can gain sentience outside of you. And while they will typically be nice and loyal to you, I've seen posts in instances where people claim that they can turn evil. I'm not an expert on this subject by any means. But you could probably look up tulpa and like find a lot of interesting literature on the subject.
formed by a single person or multiple people, though they can be unintentionally formed as well. But they are always manifested through the deep will and focus of a person in a considerably heightened state of connectivity with their own consciousness. Traditional thought forms can vary widely in their level of influence in the real world. While they usually take physical formations eventually, their earliest stages are more apparitional in nature, with brief manifestations, though most often remaining as an unseen essence, much like a phantom or a ghost. At this phase, thought forms and ghosts are very similar in a number of ways. Individuals can make contact with them through communication devices, such as a Ouija board or through EVP sessions, while the thought form may respond through moving objects, manipulating electronics, or even speaking words and short phrases. Due to their striking similarities, a current theory established by Unit 13 suggests that what we know as ghosts may not be as common as we once believed. Rather than a deceased person's energy being left behind after death, it's possible, and indeed likely, that these paranormal entities are actually thought forms that are unintentionally created by those individuals that the deceased has left behind, who spend inordinate amounts of time in deeply emotional states, where their mental capacity is largely occupied by a powerful focus on the departed individual. In other words, as these are the ideal conditions from which thought forms are born, people may very well create their own ghosts and hauntings. However, as more time and energy is invested into the development of the thought form, they begin to harness more influence on their environment, until eventually exhibiting a semi-permanent physical appearance, and, in due course, becoming as tangible as a living creature. This is where Unit 13's interest comes in. We've sought to answer a very important question. Can thought forms be created in a manner that would benefit American society and help keep American citizens safe? Unfortunately, the practice of intentionally creating a thought form by traditional methods would undoubtedly take years and years of developmental training. So, Project Stargate has enlisted a world-renowned authority in thought forms, a man named Dr. Bernard Hayes, to oversee a number of the operations related to Unit 13's work. His participation has been invaluable and has brought fruitful results to the project. Due to Unit 13 and Semiodyne USA's combined efforts, bringing together some of the most prestigious minds in the world, specializing in the sciences of the human consciousness, with cutting-edge technology and engineering methods, we've created a groundbreaking, proprietary invention. Introducing the Thought Form Manifester. The Thought Form Manifester is able to create truly independent and self-sustaining thought form entities from the minds of select, willing participants. Being that they come from the deepest recesses of the human mind, thought forms can appear in virtually any configuration. They could look like a person, an object, an animal, or even something as abstract as the physical representation of an emotion. That being said, it's recommended to brace yourself before touring the thought form chambers, as thought forms can also take on appearances that could be considered disturbing, like a creature one might see in a childhood nightmare. There's no reason to be afraid, however. All thought forms are docile by nature, and while they may look or behave in a frightening manner, and though they are capable of making physical contact, they pose no threat to humans.
Yeah,
Once your
sure,
session
buddy.
in the Thought Form Manifester is completed, your thought form will be securely transported directly into a containment chamber. Thought forms are unable to pass through the barrier of and will not be capable of causing you any issues. There are some very rare potential side effects that may result from your session. These side effects include increased tiredness, loss of balance, dizziness, insomnia, vomiting, episodes of temporary amnesia, and mild hallucinations. These side effects, if present, will clear up within 72 hours of your session, and are simply signs of your brain recalibrating to the real world. It is recommended you refrain from driving or operating heavy machinery for 72 hours after your session, even if you experience no side effects. None of these side effects should cause you any harm or overt stress, and former testing candidates who have experienced these side effects reported that they were very mild and merely a transient inconvenience. With all that out of the way, we are looking forward to your participation with Unit 13 and your time in the thought form.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be a part of
However,
Unit
there are
13.
several
Do
required
you?
mind exercises as a part of this video system that must be completed prior to your scheduled date in order to prime your consciousness and ensure the highest quality results. Please enter the video cassette labeled TF2, Waking Your Subconscious, now. This is the end of this tape.
Oh, that doesn't look friendly, does it? I'm wondering if what was happening before was somehow a result of the thought form. I'm wondering how any of this ties into the thought forms. Or if any of this is connected at all. Well, that didn't sound good. That sounded very plus ungood. That sounded bad. Why was screaming? Why was screaming?
I'd like to thank my producer, my writers, my director, my friends, and you, the ordinary people who made me what I am today.
Next Headroom premieres after Moonlighting tomorrow.
They did love me.
We interrupt our current program at the request of the Massachusetts State Police. This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. All normal broadcasting has been discontinued during the emergency. This station will broadcast official information, news, and instruction for northern Berkshire County, Massachusetts, after the following tone.
At 3:34 a.m., Massachusetts State Police confirmed the presence of a potential group of active and unidentified home invaders who have targeted 49 residences since approximately 11:15 p.m. last night. The attacks appear to be random, spanning across the towns of North Adams, Cheshire, Savoy, and Windsor. Residents are urged to take the following actions immediately. Wake all occupants of your home. Lock all doors and windows. Close all curtains and blinds. Gather in a secure area of your home where multiple exits are available to prevent yourself from being cornered. Additionally, residents are urged to arm themselves with a blunt object or firearm if available and licensed. Only resort to self-protection if a suspect has entered
wondering if they can't get... Oh, these are a bunch of disturbing images at once. That's fun.
Well, hello again, Tiffany.
Oh, hi Wanda. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. No dad this time?
No, unfortunately, he couldn't get off work today. So I'm gonna have to call him on a payphone to let him know all the details as soon as we're done.
He's excited to be a dad, huh?
Oh, yes, he certainly is. We both can't wait to be parents.
Aw, and you said you've been together since high school, right?
Yep.
That's so sweet. And have you decided on a name for your baby boy yet?
Yep, we're going with Max.
Ooh, Max, huh? That's a nice, strong name.
That's why my fiance wanted it so bad. He says it'll help make him strong right off the bat.
That's a pretty good way of thinking about it. So let's see how strong little Max is so you can hurry up and make that call.
Yes, please. He's been moving around like crazy the past couple weeks. So I think he's really strong. Strong enough to kick so hard I almost throw up sometimes, too.
Aw, what a wild boy. Activity is good.
Yep.
Okay, hopefully this isn't too cold.
No, it's okay.
I have bad feeling about this. Okay,
There
that's
he
like a
is.
normal
He's
ultrasound.
definitely a growing boy, that's for sure. And you're both looking really good.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Let's get some measurements to see exactly how much he's grown.
What was that?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. Maybe something to do with the power.
Oh, okay.
This is a bit strange.
What? What's strange?
Nothing to worry about or anything. Just having some trouble finding the baby all of a sudden.
Maybe the machine messed up?
Possibly. But I can still see everything else. It's just not picking up the baby for some reason.
Has this ever happened before?
Well, sometimes babies can move into certain positions that are hard to see.
But you can't see my baby at all?
I'm looking. Don't worry, he's definitely here.
I don't think he is anymore.
You know what? Why don't we just see if we can borrow another machine, okay? There has to be something wrong with this one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
No.
This can't be happening. Your baby doesn't know the bar? That makes no sense. I know.
Is it happening? What happened?
Right now.
Oh, that looks like an obituary.
Humanity has fought tirelessly past through a great many trials of intellectual fortitude to achieve but one singular goal. A goal that countless men have withered away and dying in pursuit of, leaving their towers of work behind to be climbed upon by coming generations. Higher and higher they ascend, so that we will at last reach the one called God. And there, on his apex of infinite knowledge and power, we will approach and look him in the eye as an equal.
These guys were playing God and they paid the price.
Frank Porter. Please enter your credentials. Credential requirement bypassed by system administrator. Greetings, unknown user ID. Welcome to Semiodyne USA's virtual message assistant, for user. Project Director, Frank Porter. Establishing custom telephone message settings. Sender, Paul Morelli, of the Morelli Construction and Mining Company. Dates of receipt ranging from March 24th, 1987, to March 30th, 1987. Beginning playback of your messages. Message 1. March 24th, 11:14 a.m.
Hey Frank, it's Paul Morelli. We ran into somewhat of an issue today. We came across these tunnels inside the mountain, pretty deep in, but well, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but he told me to call if anything strange came up, and I figured this qualifies. People have been here before. Some obviously man-made shit in there, like carvings and stone. This shit looks ancient, like real old. I took a crew in to look through it, but since part of the tunnels caved in some time ago, we're gonna just have to bust through it regardless. But I still wanted to make you aware of it. Anyways, I'll keep you in the loop. Thanks.
This guy's gonna die.
Message 2. March 25th, 7:38 a.m.
Hey Frank, it's Paul. Just calling to tell you the day might be a bit slower than usual. Unfortunately, a number of the crew are sick as dogs. Not really sure what kind of stomach bugs going around or what, but we'll do our best to pick up the slack. I'm calling in some guys who have a day off, so hopefully things will get a little closer to normal, you know. That being said, I don't know how the hell this happened, but the section of the tunnel here caved in is clear. The tunnel's been wired up with a few lights, too. Wanted to see if maybe you sent someone in while we were off shift. Night crew said you didn't, but, I didn't see anybody else either, so... But a few of the guys said they'd seen something running around in the woods surrounding the site. I figured it's probably a deer or whatever, but seeing all the ruckus we're making out here, But they all insisted it was something else. Something like a real tall man. Might just be some environmentalist moron trying to cause some shit, but, he ain't done nothing, so I told him to keep focused on the project. For safety's sake, we're going to avoid the tunnel until I hear back from you. All right, bye now.
Message 3. March 25th, 4:56 p.m.
Hey Frank, it's Paul again. The guy you sent out to take photos just left, but he seemed totally fine when he got here, but we practically had to carry him back to his car when he was done. I don't know if he caught whatever's going around, but figured you should know. Also, we found some really old shit down there, Frank. Now, I ain't no historian, but we got a guy on the crew who used to do archaeology work or whatever, and I don't know. But I guess there's some old artifacts down there, like weapons, and trinkets, and whatever. I'll have him draft up a report for you and send it your way, because I feel like he'd be interested, and he can explain all this shit better than I could anyways. His name's Arnold Rivers. That's about it. All right. Bye.
Message 4. March 26th, 1:03 p.m.
Frank, something ain't right here. Crew's getting worse, more sick. I feel okay so far, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. I saw that thing the guys have been talking about last night, stalking around in the tree line. I swear it had a face. Anyways, just call me back as soon as you can, Frank.
Message 5. March 27th,
This guy's starting to
12:10
get
p.m.
desperate.
All our food is rotten, totally spoiled and covered in maggots. It was perfectly fine and stored. There wasn't any problems with the generator, even if we lost power. It's the end of March. All our food looks like it's been left out in the heat for weeks. No idea what's going on. Please call me back.
This is starting
Message
to get
6.
really bad.
March 27th, 4:02 p.m.
Hey, it's Paul. We saw it again. Something out here with us. It's in the woods. And it's watching us, goddammit.
Oh, it's starting to really get funky.
You guys gonna put up those fancy hunting cameras and see if we can catch anything. Maybe locals fucking with us. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah. Anyways, I just...
Oh dear. I didn't see anything.
Message
Did
7.
you guys?
Date and time unavailable. Message.
so grainy, it's hard to see anything. I saw a fog, maybe?
Message 8. March 29th, 10:13 p.m.
Frank, it's Paul. Holy shit, well, a lot of the crew here is sick now, and they're sort of unresponsive. We tried emergency contacts for them, but they just keep ringing. The phones, they just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. Nobody picked up from any number we tried. Nobody picked up. No answer machines either. Made a call to the hospital, and same thing. Just ringing. Just tried 911, still nothing. I figured the phones were fucked up, but the machine actually picked up.
Oh, he's losing his shit.
I think I caught whatever's going around. My skin, it feels tight. A lot of pressure behind my eyes. My teeth feel like they're humming, vibrating. You know what? This all started when we came across that tunnel. I feel like I need to figure out what's down there. I think whatever's down there could help my crew. But most of all, I feel like something really bad's gonna happen if I don't go down. So I'm going down tonight.
Oh boy. Bro's really going through it. Oh my god. Still don't see anything. Whoa. Hey, what?
Message 9. March 30th, time unavailable.
Lovely noises, aren't they?
This is the end of your messages.
This is the end of your messages. Click. Yeah, that's not fucking ominous at all. Oh, hi.
Authorities continue to investigate the recent crime wave that swept across northern Berkshire.
Back to normal.
Many of its residents in a state of anxiety and panic.
Hold on.
It was 2 weeks ago when the emergency.
That doesn't look like a normal news logo. It looks like an Illuminati. Triangles, Doritos, Illuminati confirmed.
Broadcast system was engaged to warn residents to secure their homes due to the activity of a group of individuals who had been targeting and breaking into people's homes. Authorities have since confirmed that the attacks were in fact part of an organized criminal effort and have been attributed to a local anti-American militia group operating out of western Massachusetts called. Police have made numerous arrests in connection to militia, and officials continue to release statements to assure the public that they are safe once again.
We've seen a lot of credible information over the past couple of weeks, and the investigation's still ongoing. We're getting closer by the day.
Thankfully, due to the continued efforts of law enforcement, life
It's
has been
almost
able
like
to return
alien
back to
interference.
normal. Back to normal. Back to normal. To normal. To normal. To normal.
That's unsettling.
Back to normal for residents of Berkshire County.
Well, that broadcast went completely tits up, didn't it? I've been getting chewed out by our asshole CIA liaison for the past 2 hours. What the fuck happened?
We're looking into it, sir, but we experienced no issues with the broadcast on our end, so our engineers believe that the signal was hijacked before even reaching the transmitter, but once we started receiving phone calls from viewers, we switched to a backup transmitter.
But by then, the hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
What a complete fuck up. They made us look like a fucking joke. And during our most popular show. Speaking of which, Don, where the fuck is he? I cannot get hold of him, and he needs to get in here and read a statement to help clean up this fucking mess.
Well, we've been trying to reach him. We've called him multiple times. We've tried his pager. We've asked around to see if anyone's heard from him, but nothing. Right now we've got Gerald standing in for him tonight. If Don doesn't show.
You've been to his house?
Well, no. I just thought that maybe he'd be upset if I did that.
Get in your fucking car and go to his fucking house.
This guy's gonna go missing
Down
too.
his front door and drag him here by his ear. You bring him into the studio. Do you understand?
Yes, Mr. Rosenbaum. Of course.
Mr.
There's
Rosenbaum.
some real powerful people depending on us right now. They need us to manage the response to these events, to let the public know what's going on, and the last thing we need is it going wider than it already fucking has. So do what you need to do, or I'm going to replace you with some producers who actually know how to produce a fucking show.
Sorry, the file you are trying to access has been destroyed and can no longer be executed or retrieved. Please choose another file. Sorry, it said I'll take your file if you're trying to destroy or trying. Sorry, Warning, anomalous file detected. This file should not exist. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Opening
File. Arnold Rivers personal log.
Final.
My name is Arnold Eugene Rivers. The date is April 8th, 1987.
Goodness.
At 9:15 at night. I was involved in the Morelli construction project at Mount Greylock. I was hired due to my background in anthropology and archaeology. I've worked to excavate a number of different historical sites. Paul Morelli took me on after securing a government contract for the Greylock project. I'm recording this because I believe my life is in danger, and I likely don't have a lot of time left, so I need to leave some kind of record of my findings. On March 24th, our crew came across tunnels in the mountain that held a multitude of ancient markings and artifacts.
Oh boy.
On March 25th, Paul cleared the interior of the mountain and asked me, accompanied by a small crew, to look through the tunnels and record notes on what I was able to recognize. I was then to report to one of the project directors, named Frank Porter, to offer my perspective on our findings. I kept this to myself at the time, but what we discovered in that mountain was not normal. Not only did I see the impact it was having on the crew, but certain aspects of my findings did not make any sense. Many of the artifacts were pre-colonial. Some were from Native American tribes, but there were other artifacts, some Mesoamerican, and others were shockingly Clovis in nature. Finding Clovis artifacts here means that people have been coming to Mount Greylock since at least 11,000 BCE. But that's not all, no. There are artifacts I found that could potentially be from even earlier, Paleo-American cultures that we have yet to even begin studying. Then, there were artifacts and writings left by the cultures that were pre-Columbian in nature. Transoceanic contacts prior to Columbus reaching the Americas has always been largely a theory, but the artifacts in this mountain, they prove it. Ancient Chinese, Arabic, Indian, Roman, Spanish, Viking, even ancient Greek and Egyptian are findings that they alone would change world history as we know it today. I'll admit, the anthropologist in me was thrilled. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I figured it had to be a hoax, but I'm confident that it's all authentic. But my excitement was soon replaced with a looming fear and anxiety. How could such a place be so important to so many cultures for so long? There must be something immense here. Whatever it was, well, that's why I left the project. The tunnels all connected to a series of chambers deep into the interior of the mountain.
This
That's
is
where the
bad.
majority of the relics were found. There were old baskets of herbs and spices, pottery, weapons and armor, talismans, other religious items, countless other things, but all of it was there purposely as offerings.
It was billions of years ago, when our planet was still mostly fire and rock, that a Mars-sized planet that had been drifting through our solar system collided directly with the Earth. The impact was so powerful and violent that the rogue planet was blown into countless pieces of debris. This debris collected to form our moon. Many of the pieces of the unknown planet remain inside the Earth to this day.
Oh. I see.
Adams Police Department, Dispatcher Carey speaking.
Yes, I'm calling to report a break-in at my coworker's house.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Liam Hollander.
Okay, Liam, you said this was your coworker's house. What is your coworker's address?
It's on Parker Hill Road in Adams, number 491.
491 Parker Hill Road, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me, is anybody hurt? Liam, are you still with me?
Yes, sorry.
Is anybody hurt?
Yes.
Oh goodness.
Then I witnessed many altars constructed out of the mountain stone, along with evidence of mass animal and human sacrifice. And the carvings in the walls of these sacrificial chambers, I couldn't recognize a single familiar symbol, and it made me sick to even look at them. Let me be clear, I am not, nor have I ever been, a religious man, but there's something in that mountain, something people of countless cultures over the history of our planet have been worshipping, but I don't know why. But I could feel it. Whatever's down there, I could feel it. It was like being trapped in a fever dream. I swear I could hear a voice, and even felt compelled to go further, to speak to whatever's down there. I don't know. I haven't been right since. I keep hearing this droning in my head, ceaseless, all day and night. I can't sleep.
Sounds like a parasite, maybe.
Always droning. But that doesn't matter right now. I informed Mr. Porter in my report that the archaeological findings in the mountain are of monumental historical importance, and that there is certainly more to be discovered. And I recommended discontinuing construction there. But it's not as though I have any authority over this project. I fully expected to be ignored. Mr. Porter called me on the evening of March 28th, and we spoke on the phone briefly. It was as I thought. He disregarded my concerns. I informed him that I wasn't going to return to the site. He insisted I did, said I was a valuable asset to the project, even offered me a substantial raise, and wanted me to lead a specifically organized team that would clear the tunnels of artifacts before excavation would continue. I, quote unquote, could be responsible for the biggest historical finding of all time, he said. I refuse again. I won't put a price on my sanity or my health, especially after seeing what was happening to the crew.
Now loading. Morale Greylock event, Group C, Survivor data. Profile for patient B3590. Rockford, Thomas. Malformations. Notes. Communicative. Patient prone to spontaneous violent outbursts. Treatment of heavy sedation recommended. Only communicate while patient is restrained or via intercom. Now loading. Profile for patient B9231. Washington, Samuel. Malformations.
Oh, goodness.
Notes. Communicative. Patient suffers from constant state of severe paranoia and delusions, resulting in unpredictable violent outbursts. Standard treatment ineffective. High-dose xylazine is recommended. Only communicate while patient is restrained or via intercom. Now loading. Profile for patient B6670. Herrera, Ramon. Malformations. Notes. Uncommunicative. Patient appears to be in catatonic state. Warning, patient may sit up very suddenly, without provocation, to projectile vomit at any staff in area. Patient's vomit is extremely corrosive and emits nerve gas. All treatments ineffective. Studies must be conducted with full anti-corrosive gear and air purifying respirator equipped on all staff involved. Now loading. Profile for patient B8816. Fleming, Charles. Malformations. Notes. Uncommunicative. Warning, patient will attack on sight. Do not interact. Immunity to pain. Patient exhibits cannibalistic tendencies. All treatments ineffective. Immediate euthanasia recommended. Now loading. Profile for patient B4041. Oakhurst, Scott. Malformations. Notes. Communicative. Communicate with caution. Warning, patient actively pretends to be benevolent and friendly. Strong homicidal and cannibalistic tendencies. Killed and partially consumed 6 staff members on April 6, 87. Patient laughed hysterically during the attack. All treatments ineffective. Immediate euthanasia or permanent restraint for further study recommended. Now loading. Profile for patient B7992. Kowalski, Edward. Malformations.
They look like they're turning into
Notes.
zombies.
Communicative. Hazardous. Warning, patient possesses inhuman power of suggestion and influence over others. Do not interact. All treatments ineffective. Immediate euthanasia recommended. Now loading. Profile for patient B1584. Rafferty, John. Malformations. Notes. Uncommunicative. Hazardous. Patient appears to be deceased. No vital signs. Patient's body not decomposing. Warning, staff have become ill after even brief time spent in patient's room. Illness disregards protective suiting. Immediate quarantine required for all victims. Mortality rate post-exposure currently 92%. Survivors subject to rapid physical and mental malformations. All treatments ineffective. Immediate remote euthanasia recommended.
I consider myself incredibly lucky to not be in that condition right now. Oddly, he quickly accepted my second refusal, wished me luck in my future endeavors, but before I could say anything else, he'd hung up. But it seemed I'd made the right choice. I heard something awful happened up at Mount Greylock, and then simultaneously, there are all of these things that have been happening around the mountain. The home invasions, the dead bodies that fell from the sky over Cheshire, the pregnancy phenomena, so many other unexplainable things. They all must be related, and I've been trying to figure out how. I've connected with a local investigator who's been trying to get to the bottom of this. I've shared with him everything I have, though I feel that I've been being watched. I feel a looming threat that I can't really explain. Would the government really send someone to kill me over this? I feel like I'm paranoid. Like I've lost some of my mind. But I came home from the grocery store the other day and my front door was unlocked. And I know I had locked it before I left.
That's
I scanned my
bad.
entire house for traces of anything, but found nothing out of the ordinary. I even checked and replaced all of the light bulbs. Oh, God. Saying it out loud like this, it makes me realize how crazy I sound. I've always been a rational man. There's a logical explanation behind everything. Well, I'm glad that I put all of this into a recording. Perhaps that was what I needed to snap me out of this. Honestly, I feel much better just talking about it.
Oh, that's bad.
This can't be. Oh my God, that's my basement door. No. Camcorder. Oh, where's the damn camcorder? There it is. Thank God.
They're here. I'm inside my bedroom closet. I'm going to keep the tape recorder running, and I'm hiding in here with my files. If something happens to me, and you find any tapes or files somehow, please bring it to the investigator, Jim Malcolm of North Adams. That goes for this video footage as well.
Oh, jeez.
Come on out, it's the police.
Not cool.
Accessing GBS properties. 101 WRAV FM radio station. Date of broadcast December 13th, 1963. Segment announcement of the National Access Initiative. Beginning playback.
In one of his first acts after his historic succession, President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration has announced an upcoming program that will revolutionize communication and bring critical home electronics into every American household. The National Access Initiative, as it's been named, is a program designed to ensure that all citizens have equal access to vital communication tools and ways to stay informed, fostering connectivity, security, and unity across the nation. Under this groundbreaking initiative, eligible American households will receive packages containing a myriad of electronics so that citizens may stay properly engaged with one another and remain knowledgeable regarding important events. Electronics such as telephones, televisions, and radios. These packages will also include items aimed at keeping families safe, with devices such as smoke alarms, burglar alarms, and even flashlights. These things will empower individuals to not only
And
stay
even
involved
flashlights.
in
As
their
if
communities,
flashlights are
but to
cool.
remain prepared for any emergency as well. President Johnson himself was quoted as saying that in this era of progress and innovation, it is crucial for every American to have the tools necessary as they navigate the challenges of modern life in an era of ever-increasing technological dependence. These electronics packages are being made available to American households through a partnership with world-renowned technology manufacturer Semiodyne USA.
And there's Semiodyne again.
The technology giant's expertise in creating cutting-edge, revolutionary technologies over the past decades has made them a household name, and their gracious contribution to this initiative ensures that the devices provided will be of the highest quality. Further enhancing the experience and benefits for American citizens. When asked for a quote during a press conference earlier this week, President of Semiodyne USA, Percival C. Rothwell, had a lot to say.
The National Access Initiative represents a milestone in our nation's journey towards progress and inclusivity. It's a reflection of the American government and Semiodyne USA's unwavering commitment to empowering every American citizen, regardless of age, location, or income, with the tools and resources needed to thrive in the electronic age.
Through the miracle of modern communication, the words we speak, the actions we take, will be read, heard, and seen on the instant, and judged in every city and village in America. They are the silent delegates. We cannot see them or hear them, but they are present.
32% of American households still don't have a television in the house. This means they are less informed and are unable to respond to emergencies as quickly or efficiently. A much greater percentage of households have no smoke alarms to alert them in the event of a fire. Perhaps most shocking of all, 29% of Americans don't even have a telephone in their home, meaning they're unable to call for aid or even just contact friends or family members. They are left disconnected. For decades, people of all kinds have wondered what it is we're working on at any given time inside Semiodyne. And for decades, we've kept it all quite secretive. But I'll let you in on a little something.
Oh, yeah. Kennedy didn't go for it. But you assured me he was amenable. Or was that just more of your bullshit? No? He's gonna fucking expose our whole plan for the NII program. The meeting couldn't have gone worse. If that fucking Nick thinks he's gonna expose Semiodyne, he's got another thing coming. But we're not the only ones he's pissed off lately. After rejecting Operation Northwoods, and then that executive order involving the Federal Reserve, there are a lot of snakes in the grass. And it's about time that Kennedy got bit.
At Semiodyne USA,
Kennedy.
We're building the future.
They're tying this into the freaking Kennedy assassination? Oh my gosh.
And its current president, I'll tell you one irrefutable fact, the most important one. All roads lead to connectivity. Without connectivity, we have no future. The more isolated individuals are from one another, the weaker they are, the more easily defeated they are, and the less likely they are to see the value of their own lives.
Hey, hon, have you seen the car keys?
Humanity has stood many times at the precipice
There we
of
go.
extinction. And the only reason we are still here today is because we stood there together.
This guy does not have anyone's best interests at heart, does he?
Every step of the way. We make a promise to continue to support you into the future as well. Whether it's from a lack of infrastructure or a lack of income, no one should be restricted access to potentially life-saving and life-enhancing technology. And this is only the beginning. We have so much more planned so that Americans can all truly be equal in our society. Security.
Yeah, equally dead, more like it.
Accessibility. It is our belief that it is these three factors that make America the best country in the world.
Oh hey, it's one of the tulpas. But you want it to be bedtime so badly. Look at her poor little face.
Mr. Rothwell
so
also stated that these monumental benefits won't only be made available to American households, but to police and fire departments.
It's what makes her so
and
cute
to
and
small
lovable.
businesses as well.
She has this
The
itty bitty
Johnson
little face.
administration has stated that while they are going to begin launching this landmark program right away, it will first be made available only in select areas as construction crews from coast to coast prepare to establish important infrastructure that will support the National Access Initiative program.
Lots of DVDs, a poster on the wall, an old boot. Ooh.
Hello? Hello? Is somebody there?
Nerp. 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 Ah.
I'm over here, Katie. Oh, there you are. Who are you?
I'm your imaginary friend.
My imaginary friend? But I didn't imagine you.
You must have, because here I am. You probably just don't remember.
Are you from your doctor's office place that I had to go to?
I think you might be right, Katie.
I can't find my glasses, so I can't really see you.
Oh, they're over here.
Don't believe him, Katie.
I noticed they were a little
I know.
dirty, so I wanted to clean them for you. Yes, they look all shiny and new now. Here, come get them.
Don't.
You'll be able to see me.
Do not. Katie about to die.
Where are they? I still can't really see because my eyes are so bad.
You reach out and I'll put them into your hand. Okay.
Okay.
Closer.
No.
Just a little bit closer.
Yep. Bye, Katie.
The Johnson administration went on to say that their current projections for a nationwide release are for some time between mid-1966 and early 1967. Citizens will be mailed informational packets regarding the National Access Initiative, including information on how to apply as the program becomes available in their area.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Banana phone.
Hello, you've reached Alex Marsh and Tiffany Crisaldi. We're not able to get to the phone, so please leave a message after the tone and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
There we go. Had to put a few more patches on my pants. Happens when you poop holes in your pants on a frequent basis. You gotta patch them up. I don't know what that was. It looks like a fuzzy thing. Like a raccoon or something. Oh, that's a dead rat. It's a rat! Can we not be focusing on the dead rat, please? Don't grab it, you sick freak! Ah, it's all mummified and shit. Put it down, you weirdo!
The British are like ants. You can get rid of them over and over again, but they'll keep coming back unless you get rid of the queen.
Hey, babe. I'm just checking in. Could you please give me a call as soon as you can? Don't worry about work either, please. You're way more important, okay? Okay. I love you. Bye. After we lost the baby, I stayed home for almost a month. We both took it hard, but I was just really worried about Tiffany. She seemed to only be getting worse with time. She spent a lot of time by herself. When it came time for me to return to work, we decided I would call home every day during my lunch break, just so we could talk and check in on each other. She always picked up the phone whenever I called. She knew it would worry me sick if she didn't pick up the phone. But this time, on that day, she didn't pick up. Tiffany, babe, still haven't heard from you. Hope everything's okay. You're probably just busy doing something, but we've been talking every day since I've been back to work, so, you know, just, I'm getting a bit worried, so please call me back, okay? Love you.
Yeesh. Oh boy, Tiffany went off the deep
Okay,
end.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna head home. I'm sorry, I'm kind of freaking out. I'll be there soon. I love you.
No, I did not. I'm kind of partially deaf right now.
Dr. Heinrich Albrecht, Medical Examiner, Westfield. May 19th, 1987, 3:23 p.m. Intake report for Tiffany Elaine Marie Crisaldi. Caucasian female, age 28, 39, 26, 30, 27, 25. Case number 87-09-1-HA. This autopsy will be conducted at the request of the Adams Police Department. Initial external evaluation reveals a resinous black substance adhered to the face, neck, and upper thoracic region. Samples have been obtained. Additionally, the eyes are fully retracted. These observations are aside from any traditional indicators of struggle or violence as a cause of death. Rigor and livor mortis align with the estimated time of death. Of particular note, and the reason for this specialist report, is an unusual finding on the abdomen, specifically below the sternum. A symbol of some sort has been carved into the flesh. Equally concerning is the absence of hemorrhaging in the surrounding tissues. Due in part to this, I have been able to ascertain that this symbol was carved into the skin post-mortem. In regards to timing, based on my analysis, I would say the cuts were likely made several hours after death. Well, photographs and casts have been made for further analysis. I'll be consulting with forensic anthropologists and symbology experts to better understand the nature and potential significance of the symbol. In summary, while the exact cause of death is yet to be determined, it is the carving that requires the initiation of an immediate and in-depth investigation. This aspect of the case should be treated with utmost priority due to its unusual and unnerving nature.
Okay, Tiffany, we're recording now.
Okay.
So, Tiffany, you just had your 6th birthday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you have a party?
Yeah.
How was it?
Good.
That's good. You're awfully quiet today. Are you seeing them again?
Yes.
Can you see them right now?
Yes.
Where are they? Where are they, Tiffany?
Where who?
They're everywhere.
Private lock for case file 87-091-HA for my home archives. The date is May 19, 1987. Time is 8:03 p.m. I conducted an examination of Miss Tiffany Crisaldi today. Her body arrived shortly before I was to leave the office for the day, but I decided to at least begin external examinations. Though it seemed misfortune loomed over the proceedings. Electrical flickers and inexplicable drops and spikes in room temperature. Repairs may be required.
This is not good.
I wanted to refrain from mentioning this part whatsoever, but I feel compelled to do so. After placing Miss Crisaldi in storage and moving on to cleaning up, my assistant Sarah mentioned that she'd heard what sounded like a woman crying.
That's sad.
Coming from the direction of the cooler. I shrugged off her remark and let her leave early, telling her she was likely stressed or overtired, and I continued cleaning up on my own. I didn't dare to tell her that I heard it as well.
Okay, are you ready, Tiffany?
I think so.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll need you to follow my instructions, okay, Tiffany? As long as you do that, everything will be fine. Can you do that for me?
Okay.
Good. I'm going to play some sounds that will help you through this exercise. Good. Now close your eyes and keep them closed until I tell you to open them. I want you to picture yourself standing outside your house in your front yard. It's a beautiful day out with big fluffy clouds and a blue sky. No one else is around. Now look down at the grass around you and watch how each blade moves in a gentle breeze. Now look forward and see your house. And look around and see the trees around your yard. Watch how the breeze affects the leaves as it passes through. Make the wind blow a little harder, enough so the branches are swaying a little bit. You can hear all the rustling of the leaves around you. Wind calms down now, and you begin walking very slowly towards the front door of your house. Step. 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 Step.
This is like some kind of
And with
hypnosis.
each step you take, it looks like the day is getting later and later. Soon the golden rays of the sunset are shining against your house. The front door is closer now, but you still have some more steps to go. Step. 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 Step.
I've seen enough videos on hypnosis to know this is some kind of hypnosis technique.
Step. The sun vanishes behind the trees, going down. Step. The stars begin twinkling in the sky above, and the moon shines its soft glow over everything around you. Step. You arrive at the front door. Reach out your hand, turn the doorknob, and open the door. Your house looks like it always does at nighttime, except you're the only one here now. You take off your shoes. First the right shoe. Then the left shoe. You can feel the floor against your feet. You can smell the familiar aroma of your house. Everything is in its proper place. You are alone. You're going to walk quietly to your bedroom now. You come to the stairs and begin to walk up. You hold on to the banister as you go, letting your hand slide up. Step. 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 You reach the second floor hallway. Everything is in its proper place. You are alone. Nobody else is here with you. You look to the right and you can see your bedroom door closed at the end of the hall. And you start walking nice and calmly towards it.
Okay.
You see the door coming closer with each step. You can see the pink flower stickers that you put on it 2 years ago, and the small wooden sign that reads Tiffany, with the little blue bird in the corner. Step.
Oh my gosh, this
Step.
is getting so freaking creepy!
Step. You're at your bedroom door now. You reach out your hand and grasp the doorknob and turn it. The door opens, and you can see that your room looks just like it did the last you saw it. You see the colorful quilt on your bed. You see your small white dresser with all the stickers and scuff marks, just like always. Your stuffed animals are all resting by your purple toy box. You feel comfortable. You feel safe. You are alone. You walk into a room, and that's when you can see something different that's never been there before. Tell me what you see.
It's a door next to my window.
That's right, it's a door. What does the door look like, Tiffany?
It looks black. It has weird marks on it. The wood looks weird.
Walk to the door and open it.
Do not open the door.
It doesn't matter if you're scared. You must open the door. Good job, Tiffany. Now tell me what's on the other side of the door.
It's a small room. Somebody's in there.
No, Tiffany, you're alone.
No. There's someone here. He's facing away from me. He's standing and tall. He's very tall.
Tiffany, you are alone. Nobody else is there. Now tell me what else is in the room.
There's a TV. The screen is all fuzzy, and the tall man is watching it.
Tiffany, I want you to focus on removing the man from your mind. When I snap my fingers, he will be gone. You will be alone.
The man's shaking. His body is cracking.
Okay, Tiffany, I'm going to count down from 5. When I snap my fingers, you will return to the real world. 5. You're feeling more awake
He's
now.
turning around.
4. Everything around you is becoming
He's
hazy.
looking at me. He sees me.
3, Tiffany, you can feel the chair you're sitting in again. 2, everything around you fades to the blackness behind your eyes. 1, full control of your body. 0, you're awake, Tiffany. You will return to reality now.
I see Gun Digest. And the petrified rat. What the hell? Why would someone put a cassette into a dead rat? That is a very good question. That rat looked very intact before that guy cut it open. How did he get in there? Why is any of this? How is any of this? What the fuck? What? No.
You must have questions regarding who I am, how I located you, and what reason I am contacting you. I will answer any of those questions, but I will be clear in due time. For now, I am simply offering you information. You can take it or leave it. It's impressive you remained alive for this long. But then again, you've gone to great lengths in the past in order to survive, haven't you? I'm going to tell you a story, Jim. A story that you've been dying to hear.
I'll see you in the morning, hon. There's a dummy in my lap. Say hi, dummy. Oh dear. Yeesh. I'll wash your work shirt soon. I'm sure you'll be fine just this once. Like this tape was recorded over one of the last ones. Like literally. Really distorted audio. Okay, I think this is the last one. Participation as this part of the TF system may result in the viewer achieving a heightened sensory state, cause viewer to experience unexpected visual and auditory occurrences which have no discernible source. Occurrences may include but are not limited to transient moving shapes, unsettling shadow formations, vocal phenomena such as whispering, unidentifiable music that sounds distant or muffled, a feeling of a separate presence even while alone. For a more comprehensive list and additional information, see the Health and Safety section of your handbook. freaky. This is so very much 90s.
Greetings, and welcome to the second video program in the Preconditional Protocols and Orientation video system for Unit 13, TF2, Waking Your Subconscious. This video cassette has been specially designed to utilize powerful psychological exercises, along with cutting-edge technology, and your own brain's neuroplasticity, to allow Unit 13 to access the deepest energy potential of your incredible mind. This will be required to increase the likelihood of prime-form cognigenesis. Before we begin, let's go over the required checklist to be sure you have everything in order, so that we won't end up with any negative or unexpected outcomes from this program. First on the checklist, ensure that you are alone and will not be disturbed for the entire duration of this program. It's critical that you do not become distracted, as working with the brain in such a way is a very delicate process. Second, turn off all light sources, except for your television or monitor that you are using for this program. This aids tremendously in your brain's ability to focus, but it also can make you feel vulnerable or frightened, which are beneficial to this program achieving the desired results. Ideally, you would wait until nightfall to complete this part of the program. Third, ensure that your volume is turned up to a level where no outside or ambient noise is able to leak through your headset. This too helps with focus, but it also aids in those feelings of fear and vulnerability, which are where our deepest and most complex selves are rooted. Fourth, have your workbook open to the TF2 section and have your writing utensil nearby, as some exercises will require you to write. However, if for any reason you do not have your workbook, simply grab a regular notebook or some sheets of paper and write your name and TF2 at the top of each sheet you use. You will need to hand those into your program liaison, and they will take care of transferring the data from there. Once all of these conditions have been met, you're ready to continue to the next part. Now is the time to make sure that your NeuroVisor headset is correctly equipped and connected. If you need any assistance, or are looking for more information regarding the NeuroVisor, be sure to check the section titled Equipment and Connection in your Unit 13 Program Handbook. This will be your final opportunity to pause playback for the rest of this tape. Pausing after this point will cause a disruption, which could carbonate your fucking skull, interrupt the data being collected by your headset. Your screen is about to gradually turn red. Once it is completely red, the program has officially begun, and the point of no return has been crossed. You have 10 seconds. Photosensitivity warning. Our first section, induction, contains bright flickering. If you have a photosensitivity disorder, it is best that you do not look at your screen. Close or shield your eyes, and just listen. Once the tone in your headset changes, it will be safe to look at your screen again. Induction will begin in 5 seconds. Beginning induction. Please stare at your screen for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Flashing lights. Freaking epilepsy warning.
Induction complete. This exercise will present you with 5 separate sets of words. Each set will contain 6 words. For each set, you will have 10 seconds to choose the one word out of the 6 that you feel doesn't fit with the others, and write it down in your workbook or on an appropriately labeled piece of paper. If you do not have your workbook, simply write the numbers 1 through 5 vertically on your paper, and place your answers beside each corresponding number. Now, let's begin.
I see a little guy back there.
Priming complete.
It's like they're
This
trying
next
to
section
change you
is a
into some
specialized
kind of...
variation of the Stroop test, which will measure multiple facets of your reaction to congruent and incongruent stimuli, while also examining how you deal with high stress, high anxiety situations. You will be shown a series of faces with emotional expressions, and the word for each emotion written on each face. The word could match the expression, like the word happy on a smiling face, or they might not match, like the word angry appearing on a sad face. You are about to begin the first testing phase of this section. This will be the easiest phase, with each subsequent phase becoming more and more difficult. Look directly at your screen and state your responses out loud. Phase 1 testing begins in 5 seconds.
It's okay. Notifications are broken usually. Figure's getting closer. This reminds me of Channel 58, another analog horror channel. Where they try to make it so that you can't identify people's faces and emotions through something like this. I saw that. Retro, did you take your medicine today, buddy?
Yes, hello, this is Troy with Evervigil Security. Am I speaking with Charlotte Melgren?
Yes. What happened this time?
Miss Melgren, we've detected some unusual activity at Forever Friends Kennels. Our system alerted us that kennel door 1 was open and then closed unexpectedly, followed by a power outage. Is it correct that your primary residence is the first unit at Forever Friends?
Yeah, but okay, so I'm not the one who got the security system. It was my dad. So I don't know if there's some way to fix this or whatever, but you guys have called me in the middle of the night like 5 times in the past couple of weeks, and it's all turned out to be false alarms. Every time.
I'm so sorry about that, ma'am. I can take a look into why that might be happening if you'd like, but first I need
You
to
keep
be sure
forgetting because you are a fool.
Are you currently alone?
Yeah, it's just me. But I'm looking out the window right now, and everything seems fine. I mean, the power's out, but it literally goes out all the time over there, so I'm just gonna go flip the breaker.
Ms. Melgren, we strongly advise against going outside or into the kennels, especially with the power outage. We can call to have a police officer dispatched, and they can make sure it's safe before you...
Wait, hold on. Is there any way we don't have to do that? I have to be up at 6, and the last time it took them over an hour to get here. For nothing. Please.
Ma'am.
Like I said, this has happened a ton of times, and plus the dogs aren't even barking. If someone was in there, they'd be going crazy by now.
Ma'am, I could get in a lot of trouble if anything happened, and I didn't call anyone. It's company policy.
How about this? I'll keep you on the phone while I go, okay? I'll switch to my cordless and everything. If anything happens at all, you can call the police.
Miss Melgren...
I will even grab my flashlight. Please. I have a lot going on tomorrow, and I really just want to get back to sleep.
Just let me at least check tonight's footage to make sure everything looks okay first, all right?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Okay, let me see here. I'm getting an error. It's not letting me review it.
Well, I can just head over really quick. Like, real quick.
Well, there's no motion alert in tonight's log, so... Okay, just please be quick and safe.
Thank you. Seriously, I'm gonna go throw some clothes on and, grab the cordless, okay?
Yeah, all right. I'll look into the false alarms you mentioned and see if I can figure out what's going on with that.
Okay, be right back.
Most of this stream has been me freaking out and getting jump scared and fixing holes in my pants. The real question is, how do I keep getting holes in my pants? File corrupted. All this is file corrupted.
Okay, on the cordless. Got my flashlight. Still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, heading outside now and then going right across to the kennels, so just hang on another sec.
Okay.
Whoa, wait, where? This one's near the cuff of my pants, so I couldn't have gotten poop there. Also, you see what I'm exposed to on the daily.
Okay.
Like, I don't just watch this stuff on Spooky Scary Saturdays with you guys. I watch this in my free time. So you can understand why I might be a little shitted. You might understand why there might be several bricks in my pants at any given time.
I'm inside. And yep, the power is definitely out.
Quit stepping on my pants?
Okay, I'm just gonna go check
that's
the dogs
probably
real
more
quick
likely.
on my way to the basement.
And I'll try, but it's hard.
Seems fine.
I'm really not sure this is a good idea, Miss Melgren. Listen, something's wrong with the recordings I'm seeing of your home.
What do you mean wrong?
Honestly, I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at here. It seems like the camera's glitched out or something, but the previous calls you've been getting, they weren't false alarms. Yeah, again, I'm not sure what's going on here, but something's been stalking around your property for a while now. I'm not sure how the previous people who called you didn't notice.
Okay, something like what? An animal or?
No, well, I don't know actually. Listen, I just think you should go back to your house, okay? Please.
Okay, yeah, you win. Let me just make sure that the dogs are okay, and I'll head back over. They're just right here.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna try to look over tonight's footage again, just in case it's decided to work.
Okay. Hi, babies. Hi, Mama.
What's wrong?
I don't know. You okay, buddy?
Charlotte? What's going on?
The dogs aren't moving. They're all just standing here.
Well, it's late, so maybe they're just tired or something. But let's just get you back.
That's not it. They're just standing here, not moving. Like, at all. Like, not even their eyes. It's like... Oh my God. It's like they're fucking dead, but they're not.
What the fuck?
What?
Oh my God, giant skeleton.
Return to your house immediately. I'm sending your information to the police right now.
What's going on?
Get the hell out of the kennel now!
Fuck, I'm leaving.
What was that? Are you okay? Charlotte? Charlotte, are you okay?
It ripped my flashlight.
Charlotte?
It ripped my flashlight. It's gone. It's gone. Something ripped it out of my hand. I can't see anything. Please fucking help me, please. Something's in here. Wait.
Okay, Charlotte, I've sent your information to the North Adams PD, okay? They responded that an officer will be there in 3 minutes. Do you think you can find your way out? Charlotte,
3 minutes is
you
too
try your best
long.
to be calm and just listen to me, okay? Can you find your way out?
I'm trying. Where's the fucking door? This doesn't need to be safe. The door's fucking gone. The door's fucking gone.
Charlotte, you're gonna be okay. Just listen to me right now. Feel along the wall until you get to a door or a window, okay? Okay. Do it right now, nice and quick, all right?
Oh shit. The door's really fucking gone. All the doors are gone.
It just keeps going.
She's trapped.
The doors. This isn't fucking possible.
Just keep going. Stay focused. There must be something.
I'm trying. Oh my God.
You need to keep feeling for a way out, Charlotte. Don't let anything distract you. Great job, Charlotte.
Okay, I'm out and the door's locked.
Okay, very good, Charlotte.
Oh my God. The door's back. The door's back. The door's back. The door's back. The door's
I
back.
need you
The
to tell
door's
me what room
back.
you're in so I can inform the officer. Are you able to see now, even just a little?
Yeah, I can't see anything, no. It makes no sense. Nothing is making sense. I have no clue where I am. It's so dark. I can't tell if it's really this dark or if I'm
Breathe, Charlotte. Breathe. You need to try and stay as calm as you possibly can. Listen, if it's that dark, whatever's in there probably can't see you either, okay? So it's important that we stay very quiet until the police arrive. Very quiet.
Okay.
Okay, good. Stay right where you are. Keep your back against the wall. All right, the officer's just down the road right now. You're going to be okay. Now listen, I'm going to stop talking so we can be completely quiet. But no, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere until you're safe.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You got your biscuits out the oven? You missed this lady absolutely losing her shit. The door went missing, came back. A giant skeleton came into her house. I pooped my pants several times. And I am now a goblin. That's what you missed.
It's all okay. We're gonna get you out of there. Now, no more talking.
Also, what kind of biscuits? Is she still alive? I don't think she is.
I think my skin is moving.
An important test. This test is made up of 5 statements. You will check true or false beside the corresponding number for each statement in your workbook. If you do not have your workbook, simply write 1 through 5 vertically on a piece of paper and write T or F beside each number. You will have 5 seconds to respond to each statement. Your test begins now. Statement number 1. This video system is physically changing your brain. This video system leverages the principles of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Through these specific audio-visual stimuli and cognitive exercises, it's influencing specific neural pathways in your brain, thereby physically altering the structure and function of your brain in response to this experience. Statement number 2. Only a very small percentage of people will never betray their moral values, no matter the situation. Under the right circumstances, such as intense peer pressure, survival situations, or psychological manipulation, it's proven that anyone can be made to betray even the strongest attachments to moral values. Statement number 3. Through your conscious mind, you make your own decisions.
This is not fun anymore. This isn't fun anymore. This is not fun anymore.
A large portion of human decision-making occurs at an unconscious level. The conscious mind rationalizes these decisions after the fact, making the person believe they made a deliberate choice. Choice is an illusion. Statement number 4. We all have our moral thoughts and desires, but it's critical to focus our energy on the positive aspects of ourselves, so that we can be better people. The darkest aspects of your mind are part of a larger psychological entity that resides deep within your unconscious. This shadow entity cannot be reasoned with. It cannot be ignored. You cannot subdue it, lock it away, or eliminate it. Even attempting any such thing has the opposite effect, only making it stronger, darker, and more dangerous. Statement number 5. Opening the door to your shadow psyche and embracing your darkest urges as a part of yourself is the only way to live a fulfilling life.
I don't like this anymore, guys. I don't like this anymore.
Testing complete. When that you are about to experience has been carefully constructed, in combination with previous exercises, to create a connection point between your conscious and unconscious mind. This is our final section of this tape. Please watch and listen very closely.
You should be
Do not look away or shield
watching
your
if you're
eyes for any
susceptible
reason.
to hallucinations.
Please remember.
Good, they deserved it. They should have gotten you Boba. Boba's freaking wicked. I love Boba.
Your fear and vulnerability are essential components to this process. Activation of the subliminal bridge will begin in 5 seconds.
Cheeto, please hush. Yeah, this is not the kind of video you want to watch while you're, like, if you're susceptible to psychological problems or, like, have hallucinations of any kind or are on psychedelics or anything. All holes in my pants have been patched. There are no longer holes in my pants. The droning. You know what? Yeah, let's watch some cute cat videos after this because this is some fucking bullshit. Yeah, this... I wasn't prepared for this to be this intense. Either... how about we stop early? I think we get the general gist, right? Everybody satisfied with how Greylock went? Everybody sufficiently spooked for Saturday? I'm stuttering, oh my god. I'm actually fucking terrified. Okay, everyone's sufficiently creeped out. I gotta go clear all the bricks out of my pants. I'll be right back. I'm back. Stick a fork in you? Oh God, okay. I got all the bricks out of my pants. Does anybody see any cat videos they want to watch? Any? Okay. I have been done a mighty frightened. I have been done a mighty big frightened, friends. Oh, look at the kitties. Oh, I see a wiggle tail. Oh. Oh. It's in a pocket. This is from Funny TV. Nope. Back legs. Ghost flute. Oh, he found a way out. Cats are 50% liquid. Oh, look at them little marshmallows. No. Oh no, we really, like, that was all Greylock essentially. There was only like more of the that was probably the single most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my whole life. the baby chicken. This one's from Cutest Animals. Those are some baby button quails. You ready? The pupperino wants to play with the birdie. Guinea piggies. They go. Blue guy.
Mr. Rabbit and Mr. Wolf are club time on the mix.
Bonk. Why? No chipmunk. Panda. Very cute. Its little paw goes up. I like how pandas don't look like real creatures to me. They just look like marshmallows. But yeah, the end of that video was basically the end of Greylock. It was all just more of the same that we saw earlier. I have no idea what that is. Maybe a baby hamster? Whatever it is, it's tiny. And a meerkat. Mole? Okay, thank you. Well then. That's a lot of boars or pigs or wild pigs. Baby goats. Get off the slide. That is not nice to the turtle. And the seal goes away. That's a hamster. It's a baby pig. And the penguin. And this pig's butt's itchy. I have no love for pigs. I don't think they're cute. Flop. Golden retrievers have one brain cell, and it is dedicated to getting pets. It's a squirrel and some kind of wildcat. Maybe a mountain lion? Look at this.
Hi.
Huh?
Hi, baby.
Huh?
How are you?
Huh?
The cat wants to make a pot too. Oh. Goose's boot. Your dream is to find a stray baby cat and take it in? Just remember, taking in a baby cat's a lot of responsibility. You have to make sure you take your meds every single day to make sure you don't accidentally think that the baby cat's a backrooms creature. And make sure to feed it and water it. That's a dog. Cats are awesome, but they're also a little bit of work. There's a silky chicken. Again, I feel no emotions towards pigs. I don't like them. Duckies. I like duckies. Oh no, the little ones are falling behind. No. Little pickpocket.
Look at my happy guy.
Dachshund.
Or just a happy guy.
Seemed to enjoy being scooted back on the smooth floor. No, it's a baby cat. It found a little place for it to play. Aw, what a fancy little hat for a fancy little lad. Baby.
Let me see your eyes. Are you in it?
You go. They're playing. Dogs and goats roughly play in a similar way. Maybe your friend did have a pet pig, but every person I've ever seen who had a pet pig very much regretted having a pet pig. Alright, I think that's enough for tonight. I've been streaming for 3 hours. So, again, I'm really sorry about how off the rails that got. I saw a Greylock in my recommended and I was like, oh, how bad could it be? I didn't know. I'll try to have a good night. I'll try to get some sleep. I'm just glad I don't have to go to work tomorrow. But thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I gotta go play possum for a little while. Have a good night. Make sure to remember to take your medicine. It's okay, thank you. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. And after I post this video, I'm gonna put up a poll so we can vote on the next scary game I play. Woo!